Most romantic DC couples. DC is not another universe, and the reason is, it is only the universe that swarms with not only heroes, but also with villains, vigilantes, mutants, aliens, typical Homo sapiens, and many other species. Apart from having a large variety of living beings, the interrelations between these species are also a wonder and an interesting topic to explore. So, today, let me unravel the very exciting information about the most romantic couples in DC Universe. Number 7. Mr. Miracle and Big Barda. Comic book fans might be familiar with Big Barda and Mr. Miracle, but for DCAU fans and others who don't know these two, here is a little glimpse. Mr. Miracle, also known as Scott, and Barda are related to Fourth World. Fourth World is the dimension that houses planets like New Genesis and Apocalypse, along with the new gods that live on them. The dark side we all know, conqueror of worlds, he's a new god. The planets, New Genesis, and Apocalypse have been at war with one another for a very, very long time. At least until Darkseid and the ruler of New Genesis, Highfather, came to a sort of truce. Here would be a ceasefire, and in order to ensure the agreement held Scott free, Highfather's son was given to Darkseid in exchange for Darkseid's own Orion. Life on Apocalypse was unsurprisingly miserable. Scott grew up on Apocalypse, raised by part torturer, part general, part mother figure Granny Goodness. It was endless amount of cruelty day in and day out, but he wasn't alone. Barda, an Apocalypse native and one of Granny's female Furies in training, was stuck enduring the endless sadism right alongside him. That paved the way for Scott and Barda to grow up, bond in, and to fall in love, despite their horrific circumstances. Soon they planned to make their escape from the Fourth World to the beautiful planet named Earth. After their escape to Earth, Barda stuck around Scott, joining him in battle and showbiz. From here, their relationship blossoms. Scott is the only person who's shown Barda any semblance of true compassion, and for the first time, they're able to spend time alone together. They lived as part-time superheroes in Los Angeles, where they were married, settled down, and eventually had a child. The two might be insanely powerful extra-dimensional heroes, but the thing that makes Scott and Barda so lovable is just how normal they are. They live in a condo. They deal with cooking dinner and paying bills. They work for their money and have friends over to visit. Of course, every now and then, Scott and Barda had to deal with the wars in Apocalypse and New Genesis, the worlds they abandoned to begin with. But it made their bond and love for each other even more interesting and deepening. The way they're able to maintain their totally regular, everyday married relationship, even when they're being forced to lead armies, is very strange, but at the same time, they just somehow manage to find each other when the night falls. It is also one of the reasons why we love them, and, really, why they love each other. Number 6. Green Lantern and Hawk Girl. John Stewart, familiar to you by the name Green Lantern, and Shayera Hull, commonly known as Hawk Girl in Earth, are founding members of Justice League. Both of them were introduced to fans through Justice League animated show of the mid-2000s, as original Justice League consisted of one woman, one Martian, and 5 white dudes. During the TV series at the beginning, it was evident that Shayera acted always distant from the group, and the first one to reach out to her and win her trust and love was ex-Marine and now the wielder of the Guardian's power ring, John Stewart. The couple appeared in many Justice League and Justice League Unlimited episodes, and gradually they fell in love. During Joker's bomb threats on Las Vegas, John rescued Hawk Girl and sacrificed himself in the explosion. This ultimately sparked flares of love and revealed the hidden feelings of Shayera toward John. Later, it is shown that for the very first time, Shayera removes her mask and letting John be the very first Earthling to see her beautiful true face. both turned to each other and held each other in their arms. When Tanagarian invasion happened, their trust was breached, but she was true to John and team when she said, "I came to this planet as a patriot. I had a mission and I carried it out. What I couldn't know was that I would care for the Earth and her people, that I'd come to care for all of you, and especially you." When Lantern and Batman was sent to the future, they met Warhawk, son of Hawkgirl and Green Lantern. When Lantern shared their newfound knowledge with Shiera, she showed happiness with the information, as it meant they could still be together. At Christmas, Green Lantern tries to show Hawkgirl the fun of playing in the snow, and they get into a furious snowball fight. She responds by showing him her idea of a celebration, taking him to a rough bar on an outlying alien moon. What caused the couple made into our list was their interesting storyline, and regardless of the emotional turmoil they both had to undergo, how they were able to find each other's comfort at the end. Number 5. Green Arrow and Black Canary. In the beginning, Oliver Queen and Dinah Drake Lance first began dating shortly after Dinah decided to make a new life for herself on Earth, following the death of her husband. Dinah's migration from Earth 2 caused her to develop a superpower, a sonic scream used in her heroics, which she dubbed the Canary Cry. In the Justice League animated series, Black Canary joined League after the Darnagarian invasion. Green Arrow soon noticed the shapely blonde bombshell and decided to stick around to meet her. When Canary wanted her master Wildcat to get out of meta brawl fighting, she went to Green Arrow for the help. While helping Wildcat, Green Arrow took the place of Canary and faced punch after punch. Black Canary watched in horror, unable to do anything. Fight reached an eerie climax as Green Arrow fell, seemingly killed by the abuse. Rushing to Green Arrow and professing her love for him over his dead body, he turned out to be alive. After that incident, Black Canary and Green Arrow officially began their romantic relationship. However, most of you guys might be aware that this relationship was somewhat rocky, as Green Arrow was constantly branded as a womanizer, and Dinah was fed up with it. It was evident in comic when the two moved in together in Seattle, with Oliver taking up a job as a delivery man for Dinah's floral business, Sherwood Florist. The two broke up in the wake of Oliver's forming close bonds with other women that, while not romantic in nature, still left Dinah feeling that all she couldn't share with Oliver Queen's life, only a piece of it. But for the heaven's sake, the new Green Arrow comic series was able to turn the tides and saw the seeds of love, which later blossomed into true romance. Percy's writing depicted actual love and care between Oliver Queen and Dinah Lance, rather than the continual arguing followed by passionate lovemaking that earlier writers favored. When Oliver fell to his greatest depths, it was Dinah who sought him out. When he returned to set his world in order, she was there for him. The love story all fall into their proper places in the ending of Green Arrow number 38. The words and signs of affection continue, but this Oliver Queen is truly the changed man Dinah hoped he might one day become. A fact summed up with Oliver showing his love and respect for Dinah with the grandest gesture he can think of: funding of a foster home for homeless youths named in her honor. Number 4. Aquaman and Mera. Arthur Curry is the half-human son of Atlanta, an Atlantean queen, and Tom Curry, a human lighthouse keeper. Mera is royalty from the kingdom of Zebul, which was once part of the ancient Atlantean Empire in the Bermuda Triangle. She was tasked with the mission to kill the king of Atlantis before she abandoned her quest when she met and fell in love with Aquaman. Mera has been at Aquaman's side ever since, proving to be his most valuable partner in battle and in life. Mera's allegiance to both Zebul and Atlantis mirrors Arthur's allegiance to both Atlantis and the surface world, making them uniquely suited for one another, even on a purely diplomatic level. Interestingly enough, Arthur and Mera also share one of DC's most consistently inconsistent marriages. But even at times when they're not on good terms, they have a way of finding one another when it matters most. They're almost magnetic in that way. Two characters who are frequently thrown into very personal conflicts that isolate them from the heroes around them, but who eventually circle back around for each other. In the classic comics, Mera and Arthur were quickly wed and had a baby named Arthur Curry Jr., or Aqua Baby, because why not, right? Also, Mera and Arthur's romance is one of the DC's universe's most compelling love stories we get to read and see. Number 3. Dick Grayson and Starfire. A princess who became a slave who became a warrior who became one of the world's greatest superheroes, and a compassionate lover. 5 years ago, Coriander was a princess on her home world, but was forced to leave when a coup by her sister was staged. She was essentially exiled and found her way to Earth. She met the Titans at the time when she was running away from the Gordanians. Proving the phrase love at first sight and smitten was her, Nightwing, Robin at that time, orders the Titans to protect the girl immediately. Grateful Coriander kisses Robin. From that day onwards, Starfire's and Nightwing's love began to blossom. In the mission led at HIVE base, Nightwing mentions that now is a good time to talk about taking the next step in their relationship. In front of the whole team, just like proposing, Nightwing asked Starfire to move into his new apartment with him by giving her a key, which Star accepted gladly. Starfire and Nightwing is such a loving couple, where Nightwing treats Star with much respect and affection. In return, Star treats with overflowing love and kindness towards Nightwing. Sometimes, Starfire is so honest that she even openly talks about their experience in intercourse with the team, which Nightwing has to immediately jump into the conversation to stop. Star tries to practice the role of a good wife. She tries to cook for Dick as they are now living together, but her cooking skills aren't that much great. At the end of the movie, Judah's contract, it is shown that both Star and Dick having a cup of coffee and enjoying the day together. In the alternate future timeline of Kingdom Come, the two had a daughter together named Mari Grayson, who became a superhero too, identifying herself as the Night Star. Number 2. Superman and Lois Lane. Perhaps these two might be the couple that holds the longest history in DCU, and being held like that further describes how much of a love and trust should prevail in that bond. But for as much as we associate Clark and Lois with true love and romance these days, it was a bit of a different story 80 years ago. Lois and Clark debuted together in Action Comics #1, but it was far from love at first sight. In those early years, Lois may have had a curious crush on Superman. But Clark? Clark was competition for her reporting gig at the Daily Star, now Daily Planet. Through the Silver Age, Lois and Clark shared an on and off again flirtation. They had some weddings and all sorts of wacky imaginary story situations, including under hypnosis, had some fights that almost always were the result of some hilariously overblown misunderstanding. However, at last, Clark and Lois had their first ever real deal, non-imaginary wedding in Action Comics #484. The issue that just so happened to celebrate Superman's 40th anniversary. Lois discovered Clark's secret identity while they were enjoying their honeymoon. When it began as for events to lead up to the 2016's DC Universe Rebirth #1 unfolded, it was made clear that the married Clark and Lois had actually found themselves within the new continuity and had been living in secret along with their son John. It's all a little complicated and confusing, but put it into simple words is that the events of Rebirth slotted the married versions of Clark and Lois back into the main timeline, which is where we find ourselves now. After all, across 8 decades and through countless crises, impossible imaginary stories, and untold amounts of drama, they remain to this day comics' most tried and true relationship. So, as we prepare to enter the next era of Superman stories, keep an eye out for whatever might be coming next for the Kent family. Number 1. One is almost powerful and stunningly beautiful as a goddess, and the other one, in simple terms, is the god. No matter how much you guys disagree or bombard me with facts, sorry guys, I couldn't resist it. It is that much sweet, cute, and wonderful. It's like your brain knows that this is not a stunt you can pull, yet your heart desires it more than anything, and you cannot stop trying. So, for those who share the same mentality and never give up, let me welcome our most romantic couple in DC Universe, Wonder Woman and Batman. He never admits it openly, but we all know, and himself also know, that he is in love with her. Love is so deep, he intentionally hides his feelings, knowing that his love for her will put her life at risk, and all of his enemies will try to take revenge on him by hurting her. If we looked into the records, it didn't start with the cartoon series Justice League in 2000. When she showed up in Gotham in War of Gods #2 in 1991, she was scared of him, but knew deep down he was an honest man, thus getting him to trust her. Romance didn't start there, but only from there onwards some sort of great trust seemed to be built. His deep care for her comes to limelight when he was deeply saddened at the time her soul was eviscerated from her in Wonder Woman #125 in 1997. For a man who doesn't trust anyone, gently running a finger with her surely can mean a little more than him caring for her. On the other hand, how strong Wonder Woman's love for Batman is evident when her love for Batman manages to get her free from the Black Lantern ring, and she connects with the Star Sapphire ring. Yes, the ring of love, like how the Green Lantern ring is the ring of willpower. Also, once again, not as Batman, but as Bruce Wayne, he openly showed attraction to Diana later in 1970s, including The Brave and the Bold #78. Of course, this isn't your regular friends meet for lunch or dinner, but dating with dinner. They tried dating and talking about their attraction during the JLA comics from 2003 to 2004. In Rebirth, however, they did develop love after being trapped in an alternate universe for decades in Batman #39. The comic gives one of the best lines that just makes me swoon all day long. One more day. Can I have one more day? Everyone I have left. My life is yours. It always has been. Wonder Woman states the first line. Bruce is the second. The first time these lines are stated in a dream, while the second time is echoed at the end of the comic. And when getting down to what most people generally know, Batman and Wonder Woman first meet each other in Justice League animated TV series, when the man's world was attacked by alien Imperium. Batman didn't trust anyone, and he is a very closed person, but he liked Diana, as Diana's company made him comfortable and happy. The attack that happened on Gorilla City made Diana realize Batman's hidden love for her, and kissed him on the cheek to reciprocate the feelings. After nearly 2 years with the Justice League, Diana had come to trust and rely on Batman more and more. When Thanagarian invasion took place, Justice League split up and went undercover. Diana joined Batman, whom she knew to be Bruce Wayne. They shared their first kiss in an Indian restaurant at that time. Batman and Wonder Woman showed more obvious signs of their growing feelings for each other, even at the time when they were turned to kids. In Justice League Unlimited, Batman sings to break a spell casted by Circe on Wonder Woman in order to save Wonder Woman from getting killed. The interesting part is Wonder Woman reveals she knows he sang at the amphitheater when she suddenly commences humming, Am I blue? At first taken by surprise, Batman ends up smiling. Batman's love and care for Wonder Woman was clearly evident in this episode. It seems like DC intentionally doesn't make the most of Wonder Bat, yet try to entertain fans every now and then with small doses of Wonder Bat romance. It would have been nice to see them together, at least in Elseworlds' storyline, as they are one of the most loved power couples in DC, or maybe even the entire comic world. They have always been a huge hit among fans, and there are tons of websites, forums, YouTube channels dedicated to the couple. So, guys, what do you think? Please comment what you think of this video. At last, if you enjoyed, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to make it grow bigger and better. Thank you for watching.